traders. So we are looking at a drop yesterday. So I had actually predicted that happening, and sure enough, it did not go above that dotted line, and it continued to drop pretty much all day. It looked like, you can see better on the screen actually. It did have a little jog upwards, but it didn't get past those yellow price lines that I put in, which meant that the peak was lower than the previous one. It continued to drop, and then this morning, right before opening bell, starting, I don't know, maybe it was about 8:30ish. It's like it had another big drop. So it has broken through the support, the SMA here, and it is actually broken through the SMA here. So actually this 4-hour chart down here is showing a cautionary tale of these two SMAs actually crossing over into a golden cross. So this is going to give it some upward momentum, but I don't know that it's going to have enough upward momentum to really go up very far still. So we are staying within the channel again, and we have the MACD that is tipped over and is starting to drop here, and we also have that on the 30-minute chart. So let's start trading. I had waited for it to go up a little bit and decided, of course, to do short because we are in a downtrend. You can see that with the blue line here, which is a 180-day SMA. And I kind of got in a little bit late here. I should have gotten in just a smidge sooner, but I was being cautious because I thought maybe it was going to get up to the gold line. So I got in here, which wasn't too bad, and it continued to drop at that point. What's really weird here is I had a market order in, which got executed up here before it actually put that order away. So ignore that one. I'm in a position up here, and let's see, so it continued to drop, and it went so fast that I kind of didn't get my screenshots all taken. So it dropped down, and I got out here, and I made 550 on that one trade, on that first trade. So I put my exit order in kind of at the bottom of the trough right here, and so it actually dropped a little bit farther down than that, which was awesome. But that was an incredibly good first trade, so very happy with that. So then I was waiting. You can see this huge red candle. So I was trying to look out ahead to see, okay, where would be a good support. The only one that I could really find that seemed reasonable was this supply and demand area right here, this flat area. And so I put in some price lines there to kind of show where that might go to, and we're really close to it. So I'm waiting for it to go up, to have another jog upwards, and then start tipping over so that I can get in. It took a little while. It didn't get up super far, in fact, and this red candle started to develop, and so I went ahead and got a limit order to sell in. So I'm in a short here, and it continued to drop. And I adjusted this, the pink price lines over here. I put it on the other side of the candles here instead of the lower side. I thought that was probably a little more reasonable. So I'm kind of sandwiching that. So it's a very narrow window here of it possibly going to go down to and maybe stay in that area. And as you can see, when I moved that, I wasn't actually looking at this screen, which was interesting. I was just moving this line up here kind of to the top of the body of most of the candles that I could see. And it ended up being right at the bottom of the body of all the candles that have recently formed. So I think that's pretty significant. And that's kind of where we are. So I did another short. I got in, if you remember right, right around that area, and it dropped back down. And I put in my exit order at the lowest that it's been all day. And it got filled there. And so my second trade, I made 350. And so I finished for the day. It was 2 trades, and I traded 10 minutes. So this has been an incredibly quick, wonderful trading day. And I'm not quite sure what to do with myself now that I'm done so quick. All right, so let's end the day with a prediction for the future and kind of figure out where it might be heading to in the next few days, maybe even just tomorrow. So looking ahead, I decided to draw a Fibonacci line, the Fibonacci retracement lines, and the one that I have drawn here is very short term. We're talking about the end of the day yesterday at that peak right there. You can kind of see that was where I drew the line. See, let me highlight that for you. Okay, so I drew it kind of at the peak that it had yesterday evening, and then at the lowest point just before the beginning of the day today, and then the highest point after that. And then it laid this out here, which is very interesting because we are sitting now on the 100% line. So it's possible that it is done with this little bit of a drop, well, quite a bit of a drop actually, this morning. And since we stopped trading, it actually dropped below those pink lines a considerable amount. So we have already had a huge drop this morning, and that might have been enough to make the market panic and stop dropping for a while. So that is interesting that the Fibonacci line is laid out like that. So I think it would be better, though, if we take that Fibonacci line and we bring it out onto a much larger scale. So we're going to bring it out to the peak up here, the beginning of that channel, which is a long ways away, I know. And then the lowest point right there. And then the highest point, which we just kind of had. Let's see if that makes any sense at all to what we're seeing. I'm going to zoom in and just kind of tweak that a little bit to that highest point right there. Okay, so it looks to me like, yep, this is all lining up well. Okay, so if we look at the 180-day chart here with the new Fibonacci lines, we've just gotten past the 26% line there, 26.6, and it's possible then I drew in some other lines here. Change that to, say, green. How about, I haven't done that for a while. Okay, so that is another support area right there. And then this one here, change that to blue. How about that? And that would be a support area below that. Okay, so that blue line here is the lowest that it's been so far for quite a while, for many months. And then we've got the green line there, and then we've got the Fibonacci line, which is kind of in between those two. So the 50% Fibonacci line is kind of near the bottom of that channel. And that is not an unreasonable expectation there. So yeah, I would say this Fibonacci line is pretty helpful. Not exactly where I was expecting it to go, but you know, this, I could see it getting down to that point as well. But okay, so my prediction for the day, obviously it's going to keep dropping. It might have a jog upwards, but I doubt it will get above the, you know, this blue line on the really short-term chart, which also probably matches up with the gold line up here, the 50 SMA on the 30-minute chart. And it will continue to drop, and it probably will get down to around, you know, 49.85 to 49.63. 49.85, yeah, that's reasonable. I think that's not asking a whole lot more than it's given before. So we shall see.